My name is Maya. I'm 17 years old. I live in Washington with my parents. I go to high school. My life is simple. School, home, homework. I go to high school. My life is simple. School, home, homework. But one night, everything changed. That night, I sat alone in my room. I was bored, tired, and not in the mood to study. I felt lonely. I just wanted someone to talk to, someone who would say something nice. I picked up my phone. I downloaded a dating app. I made a quick profile. I used one photo. Wrote just a few words. I didn't think it was a big deal. A message came. His name was Daniel. He said he was 25 and lived nearby. He said I looked pretty. He liked my smile. Then he sent more messages. You look smart. You seem special. I smiled at my phone. No one talked to me like that before. He made me feel like I mattered. I started to wait for his messages. Every morning, he'd say, "Good morning, beautiful." Every night, "Sweet dreams, my sunshine." He always knew the right words. He sent me a photo of himself. He had brown hair, kind eyes, and a soft smile. He said he worked online, but didn't say much more. When I asked, he'd change the subject. But I liked talking to him. He said I was funny and creative. I told him I liked art. He said he did too. I started to feel a little happy again. After 2 weeks, he asked to video call. I was nervous. But I said yes. That night, I saw his face on screen. He smiled a lot. His voice was soft and slow. He asked about school. He told me I looked beautiful, but something felt wrong. He looked older than his photo. His face had more lines. His eyes looked tired. I asked him, "Are you really 25? He laughed. "Just a bad day. I look older when I'm tired." I wanted to believe him. The next day, I told my best friend, Lila. I said I was talking to someone online. He was 25, I told her. She looked worried. She said, "Be careful." But I didn't want warnings. I wanted her to be happy for me. She wasn't. That night, Daniel sent a new photo. He wore a black jacket. His hair was shorter. He looked different. He looked older. Much older. I stared at the photo. I asked again, "How old are you?" This time, he told the truth. "I'm 39, he wrote, "but I like you." That should be what matters. I felt sick. I didn't reply. I sat on my bed, phone in hand, frozen. The next day I told Lila everything. Her face changed. "Maya, this is not okay. You're 17. He lied. I knew she was right, but I still talked to him again. Why? Because I didn't want to feel alone again. Daniel kept saying sweet things. He asked me to send more pictures. I said no. He went quiet. Then he said sorry. Then he called me again. Told me jokes. I laughed. I forgot, for a moment, what he did. "You're perfect," he said. "You're all I think about." I wanted to believe that, but something inside me was uneasy. One night, I searched his name online, and I found something, another account, same photo. Different name. I opened the page. He was sending the same messages to other girls. "You're the only one. You're beautiful. You're so smart." My stomach dropped. I wasn't special. He was lying to all of us. I waited one day. Then I asked him why. He said, "I didn't lie. I talked to lots of people. But you're my favorite." I didn't believe him anymore. The next night, he sent me an address. "Let's meet," he said. "Come alone." I looked it up. It was far away. Not near any place I knew. I felt scared. I showed Lila. She was serious. "This is dangerous," she said. "Block him. Right now." I opened the app. I looked at our old messages. All the sweet words. They weren't real. I blocked him. I deleted the app. I sat in silence. That night, I told my mom everything. I thought she'd be angry. But she wasn't. She sat beside me and listened. She said, "You were brave. You did the right thing. You are safe. That's what matters." I cried a little. But I felt lighter. Daniel had lied about everything. His name, his age, even his job. But I stopped it before I got hurt. I was young, but I wasn't weak. A few days later, I got another message. New name. New photo, but the same words. "I miss you. I want to talk." I knew it was him. I showed Lila. She knew it too. I didn't reply. I blocked the new account. Later that week, Lila sent me a link. A warning page. A list of online predators. There he was. His real name was not Daniel. It was Mark. He was 39. He had done this to many girls. My hand shook. That could have been me. I almost went to meet him. Alone. That night, I told my mom again. This time, she looked even more serious. She said, "We need to go to the police." The next morning, we went to the station. A woman officer listened. She asked me to tell everything. I did. I showed her screenshots. She said, "You are not alone." Other girls had come forward too. She said I was brave. And that they'd investigate. After that, I felt different. Stronger. Lighter. Back at school, I told Lila everything. We had an idea. We made a poster. Be safe online. Don't trust strangers. Don't meet people alone. We gave it to our teacher. She put it in the hallway. Some girls asked about it. We didn't share everything. We just said, things can go wrong really fast. Weeks passed. Life became normal again. Classes. Home. TV with my mom. I smiled more. But I still remembered him. Then one day, a girl named Lisa came up to me at school. We barely knew each other. She looked scared. She said she was talking to someone online. He said he was older. She didn't know what to do. I told her about Mark. I told her what happened to me. She listened, eyes wide. Then she said, "Thank you. I'm going to block him too." That day, I felt proud. I was helping someone. Lila and I started a small group. Stay safe online. We made posters. We gave them to teachers. We talked to younger girls. One day, our teacher said, "You should tell your story to the whole class." I was scared. But I said yes. I stood in front of my classmates. Hands shaking. I said, "I met someone online." He lied. He was much older. I told them everything. Then I said, "If this happens to you, speak up. You are not alone." The room was quiet. After class, 2 girls thanked me. Weeks later, I was home watching the news. A story came on about fake online identities. The screen showed his face. Mark. He had been caught. He hurt many girls. But now he wasn't free anymore. My mom turned to me and asked, "Is that him?" I nodded. She held my hand. "You helped stop him," she said. I didn't feel like a victim. I felt like someone who made a difference. Later, the school principal asked me to speak at assembly. I stood in front of hundreds of students. I told them my story. And I ended with this. One message can change a life. One lie can break a heart. But one voice, your voice, can stop it. Don't be silent. Be safe. Be strong. That night, I sat by my window. The sky was dark. The street was quiet. I thought of other girls. Girls who might still be talking to someone like him. I hoped they'd learn. I hoped they'd speak up. Because now I knew. I wasn't alone. And I would never be silent again. After I spoke at the school assembly, something in me changed. People started calling me brave. Teachers stopped me in the hallway to say thank you. A younger girl slipped a note into my locker that said, "You saved me." But I didn't feel like a hero. I still remembered how confused and small I once felt. How I believed Daniel Mark when he told me I was special. Sometimes I still heard his voice in my head. Sweet words that were never real. I was healing, yes. But I wasn't healed. One afternoon, Lila and I sat under the tree behind our school. We often met there after class to talk. That day, I told her I still think about it sometimes. About what almost happened. She nodded slowly and said, "That's okay. You're not supposed to forget. You're just supposed to grow." I held on to those words. That week, a girl named Noreen reached out to me. She was 14. She said she heard my story during the assembly. She said someone was messaging her online and calling her beautiful every day. She didn't know if it was okay or not, but it made her feel nervous. I asked if he had asked her to meet yet. She said no, but she felt like it was coming. I told her everything I had learned. I helped her block him. I helped her tell her older sister. Later that night, I cried. Not because I was sad, but because I realized my voice had kept someone safe again. That feeling stayed with me. 3 months later, my school counselor called me to her office. She said, "Maya, would you be willing to help us with a safety campaign?" She said they were partnering with local schools to create awareness for online safety. She wanted me to write something personal. Something real. I said yes. That night, I wrote a letter. To every girl who felt alone. To every girl who ever believed a lie. I wrote, "You are not weak for trusting someone. You are not foolish for hoping someone cares. But please, protect your heart. Protect your safety. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Speak up. Tell someone. You are never alone. And your voice can save someone too." They printed my letter on posters. They put them in schools around our district. Some girls came up to me and said, "I read your letter." Some just smiled quietly. I knew what they meant. Number at home. And then I opened my notebook started
and
volunteering at a
"He's
local
gone.
women's group. But
She
she invited
here.
me to join her
And
one
I'm
Saturday.
not scared anymore.
I met
thought
women
about
of
other
all
girls.
ages. Girls
Some
who
were
might
mothers.
still be talking to.
Some were young,
Someone
like
like Daniel.
One girl was
I
just
hoped they would
15.
learn. She
I
said
hoped
her
they would
story
speak.
was almost the
I
same
hoped
as
they would
mine.
be safe.
She said she
Because
didn't
one
have
message
anyone to
can
tell.
change a life.
Until now,
One lie can
I
break
told
a
her,
heart.
"You're not broken.
One voice can stop
You're
it,
still you."
and I
used my
and you're strong
voice.
She
If
cried.
this story touched
I
your
cried
heart
too.
don't. That
Forget
day,
to
I knew I didn't
comment
want to
and
share.
stop.
I
More
didn't want to
emotional
forget
and
what
inspiring
happened and
stories
just
are
move on.
coming soon.
I wanted to do something with it. I wanted to be a voice. 1 year later, I turned 18. I applied to colleges, but not for what I used to dream about. Before, I wanted to study art. Now, I wanted to study psychology. I wanted to understand why people lie. Why girls like me trust so easily. I wanted to help girls who felt like I once did, lost, lonely, and looking for someone to tell them they mattered. At graduation, my principal gave a speech. She mentioned me. She said, "Maya taught us something no textbook ever could. That a quiet girl with a strong heart can make the world safer for others." I wanted to cry, but I smiled instead. Now, I don't talk to strangers online anymore. I don't believe sweet words unless they are followed by real actions. I'm more careful. But I'm not bitter. I still believe in love. I still believe in kindness. But I also believe in boundaries. And truth. I tell my story at youth centers now. Lila comes with me sometimes. We stand in front of classrooms and say, "You matter. Your safety matters. You don't owe anyone your attention just because they're nice." Every time I speak, I feel the fear leave my body just a little more. Last week, I got another message on my phone. Random name. Polished photo. "Hey beautiful. I saw your profile. You look amazing." I didn't reply. I didn't smile. I just blocked the